This is Show Up as a Leader, a show from People Forward Network, helping you maximize your positive impact on the world by becoming your best, fully authentic self. Hey everyone, it's Rosie. I am really jazzed to be adding my friend Claire Chandler to the lineup of great content on Show Up as a Leader. She is the founder of Talent Boost, and she just does incredible work on advising leaders on how to grow their business with intention, with purpose. And her new series that she's launching on the show is called Growth on Purpose. I've had her on as a guest a few times, cannot wait for her to bring her wisdom, her humor, and all that is Claire into this feed. She is going to be providing you with a framework and practical actions that you can lean on to be intentional with yourself, to be intentional with your teams, intentional with your business, and really building a sustainable ecosystem with your talent so that you're ultimately future-proofing your workplace. Take a listen.
Hey leaders. Over the last 10 episodes, we've unpacked what it really takes to attract, retain, engage, and advance your people so they grow your business for you. But without integration, these are just scattered concepts you have no shot of weaving into a cohesive strategy. So today, we'll connect the dots and bring it home. Welcome back to the Growth on Purpose podcast series, where we are replacing the head junk and self-imposed barriers to the growth of your company and getting real about how to expand your business without losing your best talent. I'm your host, Claire Chandler. Get ready for some much needed leadership therapy as we tie a bow around this methodology and get ready to propel your business toward the holy grail of perpetual growth. In this episode, we'll synthesize the most powerful takeaways into one cohesive framework, a data-informed, purpose-driven talent ecosystem that transforms fragmented efforts into sustainable results. Remember that your employees have 4 fundamental needs that you must fulfill if you have any chance of achieving your growth strategy without losing your best talent. Before anything else, the first thing your employees need is a reason to believe. When this need goes unmet, you experience low attraction, i.e., it takes far longer to find and convince the right talent to join your company. And time is money. The cost to fill and the candidate NPS, the Net Promoter Score, both erode your profitability. When we dig into the data from our Growth on Purpose assessment, we find that only 50% of participating companies clearly understand why people join, and only 47% have a compelling value proposition that attracts the right candidates to their door. The antidote to this is aspiration, the first pillar of the Growth on Purpose methodology. When you have aspirational clarity, an unequivocal statement of your mission, your vision, and your values, the reason you are in business to begin with, you're able to attract the right talent in such a compelling way that they line up at your door, eager to work with you. In one of the episodes of this series where I broke down this pillar for you, I walked you through a tool that I use called the message map. Now, in case you forgot or you didn't have a chance to listen to that episode, the message map is a 1-page set of talking points that helps you and your fellow leaders communicate with clarity, consistency, and conviction. It funnels your mission, vision, and values and your talent value proposition into key messages that resonate with different target audiences, depending on what matters most to them. Refreshing your mission, vision, and values, and documenting and sharing your talent value proposition are other elements of this pillar, this aspiration pillar, that help you define and amplify your magnetic purpose. And when you put your magnetic purpose to work, it becomes easier, faster, and therefore less expensive to acquire the right talent. But your journey toward perpetual growth doesn't end there. Because once you give the right talent a reason to believe that gets them in the door, you want to keep them there, not by locking the door and barring their exit, but by giving them what they need next, which is a place to belong. When this need goes unfulfilled, you experience low retention, and unfortunately, you lose more of the right talent and are left working around the wrong fit hires. And SHRM and other sources have beat it into us that it costs up to twice a person's salary to replace them. So we need to break the turnover cycle and give the right people a reason to stay. When we look at the data from our Growth on Purpose assessment around this pillar, we see that while 96% of respondents know who their A players are, only 26% has succession plans for their critical positions, and only 38% enable their people to drive their own development. Now, the cure for this malaise is awareness, which is the second pillar of our Growth on Purpose methodology. When you and your employees are keenly aware of your strengths, your motivations, and your vulnerabilities, your blind spots, your Achilles heels, what we call the awareness of self, you're able to put the right talent into roles that play to their strengths and leverage your organizational strengths to increase your competitive advantage. And since the right talent likes to help you win, showing them how to compete unlocks their potential in ways that rigid job descriptions just don't. When I unpacked this pillar a while back, I shared the one-page succession plan that I use to help leaders map out the success factors of each critical position and the gaps their top succession candidates need to fill in order to get ready. You need to stop overcomplicating this activity, because having a leaky talent pipeline catches up to you, especially when we get to pillar number 4, giving every employee the opportunity to drive their own development, capturing the DNA of your A players so you can find more of them, and employing assessment centers to accelerate your high performers and uncover your high potentials are other components in this pillar of awareness that help you unleash the limitless talent hidden throughout your business. And when your employees feel limitless, when they feel free to do work in their genius zone in ways that energize them, they stay longer and contribute at higher levels. But unleashing all that talent only goes so far. If they don't trust their colleagues, they won't collaborate. And if they don't trust your leaders, they won't follow them. So you need to provide their third must-have, which is the space to break stuff. Now, when this need goes unmet, you experience low engagement. So your employees, and especially the most talented ones, hold back their best ideas and effort. They won't go above and beyond, and it will create more problems than they solve. Not only does low engagement affect morale, it results in more mistakes, more incidents and accidents, and more dissatisfied customers. We need to reverse this trend. We need to give your people a reason to contribute. When we look at the data from our Growth on Purpose assessment, we see that only 59% of employees trust their leaders, 59%, and less than half of them understand the strengths that their coworkers bring to the table or work together effectively to overcome the company's biggest obstacles to growth. This is a major problem. The way to address it is by installing the third pillar of the Growth on Purpose methodology, which is acceleration. When you intentionally and genuinely accelerate trust, rather than manufacture it, or worse yet, ignore the fact that it's missing, you create an environment where your teams lean in, work together, fail forward without repercussions, and solve bigger problems faster. During my explanation of this pillar a few episodes back, I mentioned some of the breakthroughs I have had the opportunity to facilitate and witness during my team dynamics retreats. If you get your team in the same room and ask them to work on solving problems in your business without strengthening their team dynamics first, not only will you not break down the barriers standing in the way of your growth, you will also perpetuate this us versus them mentality. People will dig in their heels and defend their own turf if you don't break through and connect them as humans first. Full stop. Now, other ways you can accelerate trust in your business include things like onboarding programs that involve key members of your team, coaching on an individual and cohort level, mentoring, including formal, informal, and reverse mentoring. These are ways you can strengthen the connective threads within teams and across your business, and over time, create cultural cohesion. And when your culture is cohesive, your employees trust their leaders, and your teams are given room to break apart the status quo and build new processes, systems, and ways of working. They will stop competing against each other and deepen their commitment to your shared purpose. When the right talent is committed to your organization, they are primed and ready to execute your growth strategy. But they have to see themselves in that future. So you need to fulfill their fourth fundamental need, which is a future to buy into and build. When this need is not met, you experience low mobility. And this shows up, you've seen it, you're experiencing it now. When you have a critical position that you need to fill and you have no internal talent prepared and willing to fill it, these are the types of leaks in your pipeline that over time will saturate, in a bad way, your company and its ability to grow. So that not only means you have to go outside to try to find the right talent to bring into your organization, but you also perpetuate the feeling that there is nowhere to go, that there are no opportunities to advance. And not only are external hires more expensive, they tend to leave sooner. So we need to give the best of your internal talent a reason to grow. Grow both your company and their own careers. Now, why do so many companies end up with giant holes in their pipeline? When I look at the data from our growth on purpose assessment, 3 stats jump out at me. Only 30% of companies say that everyone on their team knows and understands their long-term strategy. Strike one. Only 52% of employees see a clear connection between their individual roles and the company's shared mission. Strike two. And most shocking of all, only 35% of companies have a compelling story to tell about their strategy that easily gains commitment. That's strike three. How do you expect your people to execute your growth strategy if they don't understand it, believe in it, or see how they benefit from it? That's why we need to install the fourth and final pillar of the growth on purpose methodology, which is alignment. When you align your talent strategy with your growth strategy, and you make powerful, intentional connections between what your employees do and why it matters, you create a stronger pipeline of talent with the skill and the will to do what it takes to move the needle. One of the most powerful exercises I do with my clients is the decision dashboard. I walked you through this a couple episodes back. This tool allows you to run your entire business from a single sheet of paper. And when you build it the right way, every decision you make, whether it's long-term, strategic, or tactical in the short term, every one of those decisions becomes easier, faster, and better. And when you involve your top talent in building the dashboard, you automatically gain buy-in to the decisions that you make because people support what they help to create. It's a great tool. Think about how you can bring that concept into an upcoming strategy session. And look for other opportunities too, to bring together some of your top talent, whether it's for a leadership summit or a high potential think tank or a workshop to create your talent narrative. The more you invite the right talent into envisioning your future and designing the path to get there, the more they will broaden your perspective and bulletproof your strategy. And the more they will enthusiastically do what it takes to fulfill that strategy and grow your business for you. And when your top talent puts their best ideas and effort toward fulfilling your strategy, you are well on your way toward that holy grail of perpetual business growth. This is what having a cohesive, intentional talent ecosystem looks like. And that's what it's all about. When you seed your business with the right talent and you nurture that talent by feeding their 4 fundamental needs, you create a culture that can't help but grow your business. So this just turned into a masterclass based on my book, Growth on Purpose. The book goes into much more detail on all of this and includes a ton of bonus resources. So if you haven't read it yet, but you'd like a copy, email me at claire@talentboost.net and I will send it to you for free. I believe so much in this methodology, in the book that helps unpack it step by step and all the resources that link to it, that I want you to have it. And it's a crime to me if you don't have it in your hands. So reach out to me and I will get it into your hands for free. So we have 1 episode left in this podcast series, and I have saved the very best for last. In the spirit of feeding your need for a future you can buy into and build, I'm going to help you visualize what your life could look like a mere 1 to 3 months from now, and how to get there with the right tools and the right guide. I hope you'll join me for the final episode. And until then, thanks for listening. And as always, keep going, keep growing, and do it on purpose.
I'm Rosie Ward, and this is Show Up as a Leader. To learn more, head over to peopleforwardnetwork.com and, of course, hit that follow button.